You want to know what's going on in your dirt sports world? Whether it's 4 wheels, 2 wheels, Dirt Sports World's got you covered. From the dirt to the dunes, we bring you the latest action in racing, to lifestyle, the newest parts, the newest vehicles, and what the superstars of off-road are up to. Check out our social media for up-to-date information on Instagram, Facebook, Dirt Sports World, and more in depth. And check out the magazine at www.dirtsportsworld.com. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel, Dirt Sports World, for some great videos. So make sure to follow us and come get dirty with us.
First up, it's the 3-time king starting off on top. It's win 17 for Connor Barry. First-time winner in the iRacing Short Course National Series, Take a Bow, Drake Mittag. And while Luke Canuck's yet to taste success in 2025, it's going to be a taste that's oh so sweet. Keaton Swain's not going to stand down. To the line, a photo finish. Her first win in the National Series. Crystal King gets it done. It's taken a while for Josh Edmondson to crack the victory circle. Winning the war, Drake Mittag, the 2025 iRacing Short Course World Finals champion. A hectic opening round in the 2026 iRacing Short Course Pro 4 National Series, but we now hit the rolling hills of Michigan, hoping for a bit more stability in round 2. Welcome along to the Bark River International Raceway as we get set for another 4-wheel driven evening of entertainment. Hi folks, Arjuna Kankipati alongside of the voice of off-road Dave Arnold. And Dave, what an opening round of the season we had last week with some new drivers but familiar faces at the front scrapping it out, and now we get set for round number 2.
Scrapping it out is an underestimation of what went on there. 5 wide, battling through 3 turns. It was chaos at its finest, but some great racing. It was tight in Arizona, but I expect Bark River should be a little exciting, but the track is bigger, it gets stretched out.
We'll return to a tighter playing field next time out at Wild West, where yes, it will get wild in the West. Long Beach, the only road course around, no dirt to speak of, instead it's just tarmac and mastering the road course there. Lucas Oil and of course Crandon to close things out, a bit more traditional short course competition as we dive into the event format. Qualifying has just started, where the drivers out on track by themselves, 4 laps, and they will use all those 4 laps across 10 minutes to set up the 2 LCQs, top 12 advance directly to our main event, and then once we set the field, 2 main events, 10 laps, and of course competition caution at the end of lap 4, effectively, Dave, splitting those races in half.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting here. I love this format here, the way they have it. It's kind of like the moto format, 2 motos, get your overall, and they get lots of racing in there, and it makes it exciting, especially when they throw a little invert in there too.
Exactly, that's what always makes it harder for us to figure out what's going to happen. Maybe not so hard at Crandon. Still tied, of course, at the front of the championship, but expect this to start to splinter out as the likes of Barry, Mittag, McFarlane maybe look to be the most consistent, but Thad Countryman, he was one to watch last time out. Matthew Lindy, Josh Edmondson, Quinton Del Olmo, Trenton Briley, Zachary Dratkin, and Rick Huseman. About 50-ish points covering our top 10 in the drivers. And in terms of the team, the new alliance between Drake Mittag and Connor Barry bearing fruit immediately. 22 points to the good over defending team champions, Channel 199 Sim Racing. Dave.
Well, I'm kind of looking at that. 199 points, Grid 1, Channel 199. Are we thinking a little bit Connor's like, hey, I got 199 and I'm not in your team anymore.
I hadn't even noticed the little thing going on there. Barry provisionally on top in qualifying. That was his first attempt, throwing down a 109.985. Cody Winicki, who last year in the Pro 4s really did start to show us his sparkling form. Second with Nicolas Dachelet, and then Thad Countryman fourth. Quinton Del Lomo, one of the few Europeans in the field, racing at close to 3 in the morning. Dave, I had to do a couple of commentaries around that time for the iRacing IndyCar Pro Series earlier this year. I could barely keep my eyes awake to commentate, let alone drive one of these wicked beasts.
Oh, it's insane. It's just, you are not resting at any time. I mean, these things, you're constantly moving, you're constantly looking around, and you are constantly looking over your shoulder in this.
At least in qualifying, focus forward, out through the final couple of corners. And this is a track where, yes, it's 1.5 miles, but the number of photo finishes we've had, both in iRacing Pro Series competition back when we had a World Championship, also here in the iRacing Short Course National Series, we've seen margins of thousands. 10-9-11 for Cody Vanderveer as we crossed the line. Matthew Lindy's jumped up to 8th. Drake Mittag, first time on the board for him. In the final time of asking, that will be the best that he will line up 3rd on the board for the Grid 1 number 4.
Not too shabby, though. But I got to say, I talked to Connor earlier last week, right after the races, and he says, well, we're going to Bark River, it's going to be a bigger track, they're going to get spread out. I don't think so. Been watching these times, how close these drivers are right now. I think we're going to see, in the main events, some close racing, and let alone in the LCQs. I think we're going to see groups all battling there. I think it's not the last time we're going to see maybe 3, 4, 5 wide.
Benefit of the competition caution in our main event is if we do have some fighting slightly further back in those first 4 laps and the leaders break away slightly, well, pack the field back up and restart with what will be 5 laps to go. We saw just how tight the championship standings were between the front 5, only split by 18 points, and so consistency, that's what you need. It all starts here in qualifying, avoiding the need to fight through one of our LCQs. Thad Countryman, 109.935. He pips Barry by 59 thousandths of a second.
Man, talk about less than a blink of an eye there. Wow, Countryman's got to be stoked on it. He looks rather calm. I think his jaw just dropped on that one. But Connor ain't done yet. He's still got another iron in the fire.
Last attempt in the belt for him, though, so it's do or die. Will it be an improvement? No reaction and no improvement either.
It's amazing to see these drivers. They just stay so calm, the focus they have. I mean, I was always a big stress ball. You could just read every emotion in my face. Kids nowadays, it's like, yeah, I've been doing this since I was 5.
That's my problem as well, was the emotional side of things. That's why now that I end up playing golf more than I sim race, I play by myself so I can smash my clubs and no one watches. Much like we watch Nicolas Dachelet, big lean through the long left-hander. Always find it fascinating how the drivers pretend like there's G-forces going on behind the virtual wheel.
It's kind of like your own motion rig in your body. It's kind of crazy. And how many clubs have you broken?
Fortunately none. Otherwise, golf would become an even more expensive proposition with all the balls that I somehow find my way losing. I've driven a motion rig before at some of the Sim Racing Expo type deals that they do, and gotta say, I don't want to think about being in a trophy truck in one of those motion rigs, because they are always turned up well beyond what you would usually do. Something like this, running off the cushion through the final corner, almost be 45 degrees, banked off, and Nicolas Dachelet bails. He doesn't want to try and set that lap time. It will give him one more attempt to regather and go once more. 3 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, we're on board now with Rick Huseman, and that's another young driver, came out of the regional series. It's been, contending now at the pro level and doing a heck of a job. So it's great to see that legacy's continuing there.
Hoping that we'll see more of the drivers in the vein of Cody Winicki last year continue to step up. Seems as though Thad Countryman is going to grab pole unless someone like Winicki Nicholas Dashley, and I think Quintin Dalomo. That's probably it. Rick Huseman's on the 5th of his qualifying lap, so this is actually just a practice run for him. I see Winicki is headed back out onto track. We're watching as skip through the whoop section there in the grid 1 number 4 for Drake Mittag. Tight line through the left-hander. It's a tidy run on the final attempt in qualifying for him.
And Mittag, definitely targeting his back too. World Championships, won that series. And, of course, him and Connor now teammates. We saw in race number 1 last week that they fought together quite a bit. And Drake, unfortunately, got caught up. And it was his old teammate, Connor Berry's 199 team that ended up challenging them with McFarlane, who replaced him there. And, of course, Edmondson.
It's really interesting, some of the switches and alliances with Barry and Mittag joining up. Mittag previously at the Impact SimSport crew. They've brought in some new faces of their own. With no Keaton Swain, the factory SimSport team slightly reduced in numbers for this championship. Also no Crystal King, so all sorts of different storylines. I can tell you that Cody Winicki is scratched on his final attempt, so 90 seconds left in the session. It's Dashley or done, I'm pretty sure at this point. So that Countryman sits there, bites the fingernails, and watches as the 23 skips through the final left-hander. Power down, 900 horsepower, pulling you to the line. Is it pole? Yes, it is!
Oh my goodness, Dashley knocks Countryman to second, and look at this, Barry to third. Boy, we are seeing some drivers stepping up their game.
Invert for our first main event is 4, so that actually means that Cody Winicki will be our pole sitter for that first main event, but Nicholas Dashley will be our top qualifier, no question about that, with everyone in this session having used up all 4 of their qualifying attempts after the battleground that was Firebird Motorsports Park. We were 5 wide on the last lap of the race, Dave. I still can't quite believe it.
Oh, I know. Going into turn number 2 to that hairpin, 180 degrees around in turn number 3. And I mean, literally through that little pop-up single into that big sweeper. Those guys were elbows out. It was incredible. I can't wait to see that again.
Saw a good fight back from Drake Mittag in the second of the main events. It means the 2 Grid 1 teammates are 1 and 2 in points. Barry leading Mittag, the Pro 4 defending champion, just in front of our defending World Finals champion. But the likes of Evan McFarlane, Thad Countryman, Matthew Lindy, that's the rest of the top 5 in points. Some hungry competitors looking to break the stranglehold that Connor Barry seemingly has had on Pro 4 competition in iRacing Short Course National Series. Hadley Boyce will lead us to the green in the first of our LCQs. Zachary Drapkin in the Racecraft Academy 56. We'll see what he can do with Brandon Fourcade and Scott Marek 3rd and 4th positions. And in the hot seat, remember, with not everyone moving forward, Ethan Curran and Tom Grady 5th and 6th positions respectively find themselves in front of Christian Noble, Michael Boyd, Matt Lass and Daniel Mameed, the top 10, as we get ready to go for the first time tonight. But before then, let's catch up with Nicholas Dashley standing by with Dave.
Nicholas, wow, you were setting some blistering laps there, but it was a little bit of a want moment there.
Yeah, I don't know where I pulled that lap out of, but I'm glad to finally show pace here. And I feel like after last week, I kind of made a mistake in qualifying and X'd my lap at the very end. And then just last week's race, I kind of want to forget about it. And this is the best way to move on.
But you're noticing this year the competition has definitely stepped up there. I mean, a lot of the other drivers right now, you guys are going to be going elbow to elbow with.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of new people up here. I'm glad Quinton's back. He's one of the Euro drivers that comes and races with these Pro 4s with us. And a lot of people on a lot of new teams. And, yeah, the competition has definitely stepped up. And I feel like I've stepped up right with them.
Any changes to your car setup-wise?
This track kind of threw a curveball at me tonight. The conditions weren't what I was going to expect. So we'll see if we'll have to make any adjustments for the race set. But I think based on the quality set, I think our race set's going to do pretty good.
Well, looking forward to how you're going to do and say good luck to you, Nicholas Dashley.
Thanks, Dave.
See if he does have to make any adjustments to the truck. Now, we do have a separate iRacing session for the second of our main event, so always interesting how drivers adapt to the change. And as mentioned there, slight surprise in terms of how things generated for them today, which just goes to show that even in the world of sim racing, not everything is fixed and constant, Dave. These drivers still have to adapt on the fly.
And I love that about iRacing. They really take into account, like you said, the track conditions, the weather, how it deteriorates now, and how you have to set it up from, practicing to a qualifying to a race setup, just like you do in real life. And wow, I mean, these are not video games, these are simulator racing.
Drivers just having a quick check of everything from race control, but the command has been given 6 laps in these LCQs as we get ready to fight. Now, remember, we talked about it in the format as some of our drivers find themselves inside of the pace car momentarily. We'll ignore that. But top 12 from qualifying, if I'm remembering correctly, advanced directly. Everyone else scrambling through these LCQs.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one there, as we see when you go to the LCQ and you have to fight your way there. 4 guys, make it, and everybody else going to be watching at home on their monitors.
No points as well. That's the most painful thing. In this particular race, I don't see anyone who in the first round necessarily stood out as championship hopeful, but likes of Zachary Drapkin, 9th in points heading out of the opening round. He'll be hoping for some good fortune. Pace truck off and away, but we're not green just yet. We've still got to navigate through the final couple of corners, and a couple of corners where racing action often going to be intense. You can roll the speed on the outside, ramp off the cushion, but slide job city down low if you're feeling brave and confident. Which line are these drivers feeling is the right place to be with the early state of this track? You'll see the dirt underneath them move as we work through 2 LCQs and then our 10-lap first main event. Green flag drops though here in the rolling hills of Michigan. Off and away, Hadley Boyce leads us. Zachary Drapkin tucked in behind. A lot of a battle between the white trucks as they slip up towards the left-hander. Brandon Fourcade, Scott Marek on board with Drapkin. Nice and easy through the opening left-hander.
Yeah, beautiful sticking down there. You can see Drapkin. We're on board with them, and Hadley Boyce out front right now. Drapkin right next to him. But tucked in behind is Brandon Fourcade and Tom Grady. You can see that Merrick drinking a move. Curran slipping back a few positions there.
A little bit slip and sliding. Now going to lose out to Matt Lass, trying to send it around the outside. Bit of contact made. Fiberglass already rubbing as we drop down in towards another left hand, this time climbing up through a hairpin. One of the boozy jerky machines slips inside of the top 6. Christian Noble and Scott Marek on the right side of the cut line, and Christian Noble wrong way over the jump. He will drop down slightly. Marek on the outside will grab the position. 2 by 2 they'll filter through. The top 4 looking comfortable. Fight raging on behind them.
Yeah, definitely a lot of bouncing going around there. You can see they're setting into the race pace right now. A little bit of movement back there, but you can see the top movements there. Zachary Drapkin still battling with Boyce as we go back to the 46 there of Noble right on the cut line. Curran right behind him, back up front. You can see Drapkin trying to hold off Fourcade there. And Boyce is getting a little bit of a runaway right now. That's what he wants to see.
Clean air behind him. Green line on the left draws the cut line. Top 6 move forward. Ethan Curran, the first driver on the wrong side of that in the bright yellow and pink. Number 54. Behind the distinctive flared nose of Christian Noble, will get back underneath. Great job as they work through the tight turn 7. Squeeze from Noble as he tries to just cut off the line as they slip down the hill into the final couple of corners on the lap, but starting to lose gap to those in front of them. Send up the inside from Ethan Curran. Physical racing, not even halfway through this first LCQ.
Yeah, they're trying to get a little physical because they know if they don't make it up through that cut line right now, It's all about it. And you also want to get up front, too, because you don't want to be in the back of the pack. I mean, you got to qualify, but you also want to be up a little bit closer so we know how this stretches out in the main event.
Short races, relatively small number of trucks on track. This is about as peaceful as Bark River will get. That was not easy, though, for Ethan Curran. Made a mistake and opened the door once again for Christian Noble to get back along the inside through all of this as they fight down through turns 4 and 5. This is where Curran lost so much momentum on the opening lap of the race. They have lost track of Scott Marek in 5th, who was caught up to the tail end of Tom Grady, struggling slightly in that 5:35 teal machine.
Yeah, you can see that battle we're watching with Curran and Noble right now. You can see that Curran's just one step off the bubble right there, so he's got to pick up that pace and fortunately let that inside, like you said he did at the beginning, and got stretched out a little bit, and he's got to find that speed through that corner.
Josh Edmondson chimes in chat to say he's watching on from the flight. The joys of modern technology. Not only can we sim race, but you can watch from an airplane, and maybe someday you'll be able to race from the plane as well. Josh Edmondson not feeling brave enough to break the controller out, as we've got just 2 laps left to go. Make that 3 laps, never mind. Still on the 4th lap of this race. They are long laps here as well, 1.5 miles going on 70 seconds.
Yeah, I got to work on that iPhone version of iRacing.
You joke, but there's an iPhone game, Street Kart Racing, which I'm involved with something called the Prodigy Racing League. Whoa! Ethan Curran, turn 4 is now the site of a big one. At least 5, I think, rolls there as he lands upside down. I'll get back to the story later. Mr. Producer, can we get that in super slow-mo, please?
Man, that was quite the ride there. It ends up hitting the trussing there also. I think that thing burst into flames also.
How did no one behind pick up damage as well? Damage is enabled.
Amazing.
We have had some races in the past where it's been turned off. Oh, listen, look at you go. You ask, you shall receive. Digs in once, twice.
Pirouette. A barrel roll. Let's get out the scorecards.
Does he hit the stanchion, though? That's what I wasn't quite sure about.
Yeah,
he does.
Yes. And switch directions there. I'm going to call that the Missy Elliott. Back it up and reverse it.
I think technically 5.5 rotations, not quite the full 6. That Dan stanchion. Scott Marek, as mentioned, closed up to Tom Grady. Now is to watch for Christian Noble, who is on the hunt behind. These two aren't going to do themselves any favors if they run themselves into trouble as well, with what will be 1 lap to go at the line.
And this is the great thing. We're watching the battle. This is going to be the qualifying, with these guys. Noble and Marek battling right behind them. Boyd, they got a gap. These guys are saying, okay, is this going to get me 1 spot up closer in the main event? And that's what it's going to come back to. Because right now you can see Grady, 4K, Drapkin, Boyce, they're out front. They've got a good distance. They would have to do what we just saw happen there, unfortunately, with the last racer, with Curran.
Well, lightning doesn't always strike twice, but sometimes it doesn't strike once. So never say never. That is one of the more interesting pictures I have seen for our drivers, by the way. Halloween costume carried forth into 2026, 1.5 miles left to go. These 3 need to be careful. Any contact brings Michael Boyd, Matt Lass into things, or Christian Noble front end got a little bit lost underneath him. Scott Marek, rather, as Christian Noble joins the fun, and Tom Grady's going to be dropped down to 6th.
Yeah, you can see there, I think Marek was getting a little net coating there, and you can see him popping and disappearing there. I know they got to watch that. iRacing will throw you out if you do it too often. It's unfortunate. It's not fair to the other racers, but a great shot there. Grady looking forward. He's in a qualifying position. I'd love to see the rear. Where is Boyd at?
Still
final lap.
About 1.5 seconds, the gap between them. Never say never. Our leader coming through the final couple of corners. Hadley Boyce converts the best starting spot in the first LCQ to a position in the main event. Oh, what a job. Alongside of Zachary Drapkin, Brandon Foucault, Scott Marek, one of our hard chargers after a drop of a couple of spots on the initial race start. And as they run to the line behind, Christian Noble, Tom Grady, it's going to be close, but Michael Boyd needed one more lap to try and get that spot.
He was definitely picking the speed up there, but fortunately, we're going to have to see what he does next week, but it's going to be Grady, Noble, Merrick who sneak in that 4th, 5th, and 6th position.
And so that means, unfortunately, for Michael Boyd, for Matt Last, Daniel Mameen, and Ethan Curran, day done. Everyone else has a starting spot in the main event. Ethan Curran has potentially flip of the day already locked up. Let's take a look at the starting grid for LCQ2, where Austin Schreiber and Adam McAfee split the front row. Joey Herbie and Luke Canup split row 2. Luke Canup, we'll see what that Team Gold machine can do. Mladen Lakovic, David Holdren 5th and 6th, with 7th going the way of Tyler Bickford, Zachary Goddard, and Jackson Eberts. The 9 that enter, and remember, once more, 6 move forward, 3 will miss out from this. Would be a big surprise if Luke Canup does not advance.
Yeah, it's great to see Luke Canup. I know last week was the Mint 400, so he was out there kind of crew chiefing the Travis Williams Motorsports team, so he was a little busy. So got a little break between this and the next desert race, so good to see Luke back.
Well, at least he's got a decent excuse. He's not showing up with a basic one by any means, but good to see him. Christopher Plumley in our chat has a question for you. Dave, have you seen anybody, I think there's a typo here maybe, anybody hit Slew in that corner in real life? I don't quite understand what he's asking, to be honest.
I've seen a lot of contact in that corner over the years in real life, that's for sure. You know, guys just step out sometimes and all of a sudden you catch traction and you end up driving somebody.
Oh, well, Christopher Plumley for so long had asked the question, where is Wheatland? He finally has the answer. Now he's got some more questions to ask. Adam McAfee needs to try and convert to a main event because the fans in chat want to see him fight out there. I don't know what it is, but Adam McAfee's got some fan support, Dave.
Oh, that's all. It's Batman. I mean, how can you not support Batman? Well, he's the people's hero.
Jacob Rafoss has just jumped into chat, but he's not in our session, which I think means he might have overslept an alarm potentially.
Oh, bummer, man. Well, you know, he's in a different time zone.
Well, and quite fitting, Christopher Plumley has called him a bum. Off and away we go. Austin Schreiber, Adam McAfee on that front row. Joey Herbie already getting aggressive up the inside. Running in VR is the Batman. Luke Canup going to be sat behind and watching for his opportunity. As McAfee looks for the race lead behind Canup, David Holdren and Tyler Bickford squabbling amongst themselves, but all 9 out through the left-hander safely.
And it looks like we have a little 3 wide there with Goddard and Bickford and Goddard back there battling. Now they look a little stretch out there, but Schreiber still holding off McAfee there. McAfee's going to have to get out that the battering there to get through there.
Well, through the whoop section. Bit of nervy for Joey Herbie, who landed nose down and now shoved wide by Bickford. David Holdren not quite there to plug the gap as they head down through turn 8. Final couple of corners on the lap. And with the front 3 now starting to extend their gap to those behind as that fighting just continues. Joey Herbie will be left on the inside through the long left-handers. Running the momentum up high, though, David Holdren grabs 5th. Yeah,
Holdren and Bickford goes by, just splitting it up there with Herbie. You know, nice move by him, going high, wide, and handsome at that point. Herbie's really liking the low side of the track, and I think that's going to be kind of smart here as the track starts to deteriorate. Whoa! Talk about going for a ride there. David Holdren getting a little out of shape there.
Just a tad, but fortunately all 9 still running as intended. Poor Jacob Rafoss actually got caught out by the fact that our American clocks went forward last weekend. Haven't quite done that in Europe just yet.
Forward.
Yes, they did. They'll do it in Europe in a couple of weeks' time, which is so confusing. If we're going to do it, let's just all do it at the same time. As Joey Herbie and Zachary Goddard squabble between the 2 of them through the whoops. Door open for David Holdren to gather 6th back up.
And how do you think it feels for the Arizona guys where the time doesn't change at all? Got to be a little interesting.
Does it
there,
not?
But no, Arizona doesn't change time at all. So it can be confusing for, like, luckily Luke Canup made it on time. It was the same time for him no matter what.
Now slowly picking his way through the field, past Batman and up to second. Adam McAfee now drops down not just a spot in this LCQ, but also a couple of spots in grid positions for the main event, because where these drivers finish is where they will be slotted in at the back of those who qualify directly through to our 2 races coming up in just a few moments' time. I think our race leader, Austin Scheiber, has got a rather healthy bubble right now, and so there he is, Racecraft Academy machine, ready to leap into the air on the run down to turn 6. 1.2 seconds back to Knupp.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of a battle there with Knupp. McAfee still trying to hold on to the tail of Knupp there, but you can see great position coming around here. You can see it's good. Qualifying third is not going to be too shabby, but you know he wants to get up, try and get a better position.
See if any of these drivers further back think that they need to be aggressive, because Joey Herbie is catching back up to Tyler Bickford as they now run single file once more. Ladan Lakovic and Jackson Eberts may have started down on pit lane because they are well adrift from the field and not really in contention. Goddard with a slightly different line to those in front. You can see it's not quite giving him the momentum off the exit of the corner. And now losing a couple of truck lengths with 3 laps left to try and chase them down.
Well, if he was smart, he'd get up and follow Holdren's line until you get up on him. If you got his line at that point, then you try to change it up just a little bit. But if the guy in front of you is pulling away, copy his lines.
I guess if you are still maybe limited on practice with the slight change in the session that Dashley had mentioned earlier, it's one factor.
It could be set
as
up,
well.
you're right.
Because look at now how the worn line has been dug into the main surface of the track, and the dirt's been moved around.
Yeah, if you get up high there, you're going to get up in those marbles, you're going to lose a little traction. You can see, you want to be where the little groove, a little bit of the blue groove is, but sometimes to hang it out there, you're going to get in the marbles just a little bit. It's all keeping those front tires, keeping them pulling you around, and it's keeping it in the traction zone.
Blue groove, something that will get reset after the first main event, but it will be a factor for the first of those 10 laps coming up shortly. Just one more lap for the leader next time at the line. Although it's
Driver
still
about a second, very comfortable at this point.
Knupp has closed just as you say that. So we'll keep that in mind. And when I said lightning can strike twice, Zachary Goddard pushing so hard, lands on all fours, but add a couple more to our flip counter.
Yeah, I got to watch that lightning rod there. It's right at that corner. And at least you stayed away from the stanchions there and the trusses.
Oh, well, can we get another gratuitous super slow-mo, please, Mr. Producer? Again, right on cue. iRacing simulating the dirt already flying as he gets ready to land. First on the left rear, then on the right rear, and it then careens up and over.
Yeah, that rebound got him, too. Spun him up, a nice little pirouette with a barrel roll. Pop it down again. And go for the tuck and roll. Ooh, he might have, 5.5, 6, 7? He might have got a foot count.
He at least landed on all fours, so got to give him credit. Austin Scheiber is going to feel the pressure from Luke Knupp on the final mile and a half in the LCQs tonight. Big gap back to McAfee. 2 grid positions up for grabs in the main event, and Luke Knupp on his return in 2026 to the iRacing Short Course National Series. Last driver you'd expect to be patient in this scenario.
Oh, he's definitely turning up the heat right now. Luke Knupp, no shortage of straight, short course. He's had multiple wins. We've seen him. It's great to see him come back up there. Still surprising when I see Luke Knupp goes to the lead. Still surprising to see him in an LCQ to come out here. But he's got the lead now. Schreiber's trying to answer back on the inside. Gets hung up on the inside curve just a bit. And Schreiber takes the lead back.
That berm really just caught him up, and unexpected, I think. I think the qualifying woes maybe also just a sign of Knupp's limited running recently, being focused out there on some of his real-world responsibilities, but came into the season tied with Barry for wins in the Pro 4s. You'll have a chance to grab another win, or had a thought about lunging up the inside through the final corner. But Austin Scheiber, Luke Knupp, a fun fight in the final lap of the LCQ. Now move forward with McAfee, Bickford, Herbie, Holdren, Zachary Goddard does finish this race, even after going up and over maybe 7 times.
Yeah, it's amazing that the damage didn't take him out there, but I guess it just didn't touch the crucial components at that point.
Build me a car as tough as that, please. Apparently I
Yes,
need
please.
it. Mladen Lakovic, Jackson Eberts, don't think we really got to see the best of either of them. But next week, just around the corner, when we'll make our way to the Wild West Motorsports Park, and they'll be hoping it will go no worse than this. We now get a couple of minutes before we're thrust into our first 10-lap main event, and I'm excited for this one. Dave, should be fun.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I'm just waiting for Eberts to get up in there. Racing runs in that kid's blood, trust me. Whole family races.
Yeah, and I think this LCQ, like I said, started from pit lane. Otherwise, we would have probably got to see a bit more from him. For the drivers that were in our LCQ, this is a chance for them to head back out, or not in the LCQs, qualified directly from the main event. Chance to head back out onto track and figure out where the track evolution has gone, especially in combination with what Dashley was mentioning earlier.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting on the reset and everything, how they get going on this thing. And especially with these guys warming up on the track, they're just going to kind of re-burning it in.
Christopher Plumley in our YouTube chat says probably should stop texting and driving. Yes, we agree with that. You can listen, although we may not be available on radio airwaves. Just turn the screen off and go audio only for Dave and myself for the rest of the night. 2 minutes left in this warm-up, and again, look at that blue groove line being worn down into the track. This will be the first time, though, since practice that we will have had more than 10 trucks on track at any one time. So it's going to be interesting to start the run down to turn 1, how aggressive our drivers want to be.
Well, you know, Bark River, I mean, in real life, the track burns in really nice during race conditions. When they do when it's freshly groomed, it can get a little greasy out there. But once the race line develops, it's a racy track. It can get a little one-lined out there, and we've seen it. And you can see how the lines really start to develop there. So it's going to be tough to pass, especially when the marbles start to form and you get out of them.
That's where the comp caution at the end of lap 4 packs the field back up if some of our drivers further back, aka Luke Knupp, the driver firmly being, I think, focused on by many in terms of the aggression levels to be expected. Well, he'll get a chance after the comp caution to close up to the competition and attack once again.
And Luke, he can run, really fast out there. He's always been second half of the race driver. He gets out there. You see a lot of the drivers are a little more consistent. For some reason, Luke just gets faster and faster every lap.
It's an interesting thing as well, where some drivers, they not just get better as the race goes on, but they're doing all that, the wheels turning in their mind, right? Where they're understanding where their competitors are a little bit more strong. They're taking advantage of those situations. And so, Luke Knupp, maybe, yes, shorter on practice than he's been in years past for an event such as this, but I have no doubt that he will fire himself up to speed pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think he's going to figure out that line didn't work too much. They tagged the tail end of his truck with the K-rail there.
Hey, why not take advantage of things while you can, right? So
yeah, exactly. That line didn't work, so try another one there.
Sweeping through.
I'm really curious, like you talked about Del Almo, and then of course Dashley burning out some really fast times there, and the other ones, the one remaining team 199, McFarland there. Unfortunately, Josh Edmondson not making it tonight, but he had some a great run in last week's race, and I'm expecting some good things out of him.
Let's see what happens. Cody Winicki saw him shine in 2025. Can he grab victory alongside, though, of defending champ Connor Barry? Behind them, Thad Countryman and the pole sitter, Nicholas Dashley, with Drake Mittag and Evan McFarlane right behind as our front six. Look how competitive it is. Sean Winkler, Cody Vanderveer 7th and 8th with Quinton Del Olmo. And then Rick Huseman, the top 10. Matthew Lindy, Brody DeShore, 11th and 12th positions, maybe a little bit out of position as well. But in front of those that made it through from the LCQ, the likes of Hadley Boyce, Austin Schreiber, Zach Drapkin, Luke Knupp, Brandon Fourcade, Adam McAfee, and then rounding out the 24, it's Scott Marek, Tyler Bickford, Christian Noble, Joey Herby, Tom Grady, and David Holdren. Starting to get a little bit tense right now, feeling the nerves build, and I can only imagine what it will be like for someone like Cody Winicki in front, who, if I remember correctly, last year, restarts, not entirely his strong suit.
Yeah, he definitely struggled there, and and also with Dashley, I call it the whoa moment, because you get the fast qualifier in rut row, I'm in the second row.
Well, I mean, I think I'd rather be second row here than at a place like Crandon, where first on the inside of that front row, I feel a little safer. In the middle of the 10 wide land rush start,
Yep.
No thank you.
Yeah, you become the sandwich or the filler.
And pretty quickly as well. Pace truck's already off and away. Remember that we don't go racing just yet. Our leader, Cody Winicki, is going to hopefully remember where our start zone is, and alongside of Barry, race us down to turn 1 and then begin the official opening lap of this race. Quite excited. Also expecting some fireworks. You called out Quinton Del Lomo. He's in 9th position. Elbows out from there, you'd think.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're back in the middle of the pack there. It's going to be a fight to get through there. But he's shown some really good speed, so I'm expecting good things out of him. And like you said, it's all on Winicki. All the pressure's on Winicki to start it, to get that jump. You got Connor Berry sitting next to you. You want to jump out. You want to get in front of Connor. That's going through his mind right now. Time this right.
Barry will be left on the outside and vulnerable to Thad Countryman, but both of the front row sitters up through turn 1 safely, and in the order they started behind, we trickle down and almost 4 wide as we head up to the long left-hander. Don't want to be left on the outside here and pushed into that heavier dirt and the longer distance as well, crucially. No real moves inside of the front 7. It's as you were as we drop down into the S's for the first time.
One of the best starts I've seen. You can see him right now, nose to tail as they popping over. Once again, when Nicky leading in there, Barry right up on his tail, and it looks like a ballet right behind him. All these drivers, boy, it looks like rush hour right now on the track.
A little bit of contact behind. That was Drake Mittag and Evan McFarlane getting a bit intimately familiar with one another. Behind Luke Knupp, all sorts of chaos building. Barry challenged by Countryman. So much going on in the early stages of this race. Rear end comes around for Christian Noble, who lands awkwardly, but not as awkwardly as some of the other contenders who lose even more time. End of lap 1, Winicki from Barry. Dashley slips past Countryman in the final sector of the lap.
And it looks like that Barry and Winicki separated just a little bit, with Dashley getting by Countryman. Countryman right on the tail of Dashley at this point. And don't forget, Drake Mittag is back there also. And look at this, Evan McFarlane still holding strong. No one's really pulling away. I mean, there's just a little slight gap there, but about only 1.4 seconds separates third from first at this point.
Back up towards the jump they go. We've seen drivers being forced into stanchions in years past. So far, so good. Everyone single file and working their way through. McFarlane loses a couple of spots in the Channel 199 machine. Now, I think he wants to be a championship contender, and so consistency, making sure you're up inside of that front 5 is going to be important. Luke Knupp assertively up to 11th inside of these early stages.
Yeah, he's really in the middle of the track right now. It's like a battle royal back there. You can see Knupp trying to fight his way up through there. Knupp still sitting back in P12 at this point. Seeing 2 and 3 wide. Drapkin going the inside there too. You can see a little bit of nosing going on, a little contact, looking like a ping pong ball back there.
And around the outside, good look from Cody Vanderveer, I think that was, to hold off Austin Schreiber. Brody DeShore, Hadley Boyce, they've lost out. So is Vanderveer, 6 positions in arrears, but Drapkin, Knupp, Fourcade, 4 positions gained in 2 more laps. Well, in the end of the second lap, I should say, we'll finish First stage of the race, comp caution packs the field up. I think one driver who really needs it, Evan McFarlane, bundled down to 9th and now trying to gather himself back up.
Yeah, and McFarlane, sitting back on points, he's the only one representing the Team 189 right now. So in his head, he's thinking he's got to get up there. Now we're sitting right now with Drake Matag back in P4. You can see the battle in front of him with Winicki and Barry. Dashley gapped out just a little bit in third there. But I'll tell you, Matag, he's got a lot of company behind him. And whoa, what do we got? Looks like Hadley Boyce getting caught up in there, getting shuffled back to the back of the pack.
And I think Adam McAfee might have been tangled up as well, because he's got a black flag, which is either from cutting the track or too many incident points. And I don't think you can get the incident points here. And iRacing short course, just around in the wrong direction for Christian Noble in the 946. That was the opening lap of the race. See if we can pick up what happens to Mr. Batman as they drop down. Not quite sure. That might just be a lasting legacy of cutting the track at some point. Back up front, comp caution in a couple of corners, and Connor Barry bit between his teeth.
And a new steward taking a watch at all the action going out there. You can see a great battle going on right now. But Tag trying to battle with the number 9 machine. Well, it's incredible. I mean, Connor Barry and Winicki just going side to side, leaning on each other. The battle, and you can look back a little bit there. You can see Matag sliding back. Where is he going?
One grid, one machine fights for the lead. The other drops outside of the top 10, but we've seen Mittag fight back before. He'll have to do so from pit lane as he gets launched onto the back of, I think that might have been Rick, no, never mind, might have been Brandon Fourcade. Across the line, 4 laps complete. A broken truck for Drake Mittag sits stranded as Cody Winicki leads at the comp caution.
It's going to make it interesting for the team standings too. Edmondson out. Now we're seeing Matag back there. It could change. So McFarlane is going to definitely have a lot of pressure on him to get up there and get in the points. They're going to have to recollect themselves. I'll tell you, the comp caution's out. The race within the race, it's going to make it exciting when Nicky's still out front, but Connor Barry known for sitting and waiting for his time out there. He's like the hunter stalking his prey.
I think Drake Mittag, unfortunately, is not going to get a chance to jump back in while that car is being towed and fixed up. There is Cody Winicki. Oftentimes,
looks like Knup's in the pits too. Interesting.
Yes, no, in fact, he is. You are correct. I was getting myself mixed up. Drake Mittag is back on track, is going to get his lap back. It's Luke Knupp that is going to be sat on pit lane and watching as Cody Winicki gets ready to restart this race.
It's going to be very interesting as we're looking forward from Dashley and the Factory Sim Sports machine. As he looks at Connor Barry and Winicki strategizing in his head right now. Get these drivers all nose to tail for a good restart here.
Remember that we'll have another invert for the second of our main events. We don't quite know what that will be. That's going to be drawn by the race winner after the checkered flag. So a bit of uncertainty about how to strategize in these final 5 laps of racing. If you aren't up front, Cody Winicki, the task is pretty simple. Hold on and defend from defending champion who is looking to try and get back on top and add to the win count once again. Through the restart zone we work. Adam McAfee drops out of the way with that penalty and we sit on board with the pole sitter. Nicholas Dashley. Great view as Connor Barry tries to set something up. Working back to the line. 5 laps left to go.
And you can see him trying to follow the same lines there. Then he'll just kind of sneak the nose out, look for a little daylight there, kind of buying his time. And you can see Dashley is doing the same. As we go back to 322, you can see Dalamo has moved up. He's into 6th position. So I was, kind of wondering, he's not as deep in the pack there. Winkler, where did he come from? Oh my, he's starting to move up there. It's right on the back door of Countryman.
Started 7th and Winkler up 2 spots to 5th. Big losers on this restart. Austin Shiver, you see him there, the 51, but also Matthew Lindy is all the way down in 24th, in fact behind Luke Knupp. So alongside of Tyler Bickford, Oh, handfuls of trucks in trouble. Great exit up through turn 7 for Barry. Uses the four-wheel drive to spool him off the corner. 900 horsepower, pull him up the inside. And as they work to turn 9, Barry back up top.
Yeah, unfortunately, when Nicky left that door down low, he cut all the traction there. When Nicky got forced into the marbles, couldn't get that four-wheel drive to really hook up through there. He's just spinning his tires. But you can see Slicky just on the gas through there. But when Nicky not backing off, looking back to the inside, trying to get a little bit of movement there. You can see Dashley in the back there holding off Countryman and Winkler as these two start to break away.
Handful of laps to go. Oh, Winnicki, not the best of landings. There was some fiberglass flying behind, but I think that was just incidental. Zachary Drapkin in this race, one of the biggest movers. He's up to 7th so far. Off the tail end, though, of the leader. The gaps having been shrunk. Field still queued up behind him. It's 5 seconds. That covers the top 13.
Yeah, I knew this was going to be close there, and when Nicky not backing off whatsoever, you see him trying to drive forward there, looking to the inside, laying a fender on Barry, letting him know he's still there, keeping a reminder in his head there. And you can see Dashley back there running. He wants to get a good run there, but he's got Countryman to worry about. He's going to that blocking position. You got to wonder if Barry is going into a little protection mode, but knowing Barry, he tends to put you out of his head. He looks forward. He's got, he's not going to forget he's there, that you're there on knocking on his door, but he's going to get a lot of drive and try and think of what's forward in front of him at this point.
That's a lot of what sim racing is all about. The differences between the drivers so minimal that it's often harder to make passes than it can be in the real world. 3 laps to go. Barry extends the gap. The truck lengths. His teammate Drake Mittag is back up to 15th, so it's not a total disaster by any means, but Mittag not really in a position to be helped out by the invert. He will fight his way forward. 3rd is up for grabs. Dashley and Countryman still fighting. Look at the focus on Mittag, though, as he tries to plot his way forward.
Yeah, Mittag's got a lot of ground to cover there, and I'm also keeping an eye out there for Evan McFarland. Just thinking in my head the team battles, the points that are up, not just the wins, but it's about an overall season here. You can see a good little battle going on back and forth, that Countryman, as we go on board with him, as he's battling door to door with Dashley. Dashley pops out in front of him, looking to the inside, outside, inside move. Good lines.
Total darkness right now for Thad Countryman. Very Bobby Zelensky-esque. Some sim racers who prefer to be in a lot more brightness. Sean Winkler, on the other hand, is in VR. Hard to get distracted when you're protected by full immersion like this. A bit more fiberglass goes flying on that front left. Lap and a half left to run. He's not really in contention with those two in front. But closes up slightly as they once again head in through the final couple of corners. Fight for 3rd still on. Fight for the lead not done either.
Oh, far from it right there. Dashley really fighting right now with Countryman. You can see that Winkler's just in the catbird circuit going, okay, you guys, you can take each other out. It's all right. I'm back here ready to take your position. And, oh, I think Winkler just came up and let him know he's there.
Half look.
Little knock, knock.
Not quite committed, though, as here we go. Ramp off the corner. Look at the line checked up behind. And Evan McFarland's lost a little bit more through all of this. At the very tail end of that shot, he's down to 10th, bundled back by Rick Huseman and by Cody Vanderveer, I believe. Just goes to show momentum in a race like this, where that field is so close, Dave. It's so easy to lose out. Just the look on board. He almost gets run up into the fence up high.
Yeah, I think he did get run under the fence. He was literally scraping that wall. Well, white flag conditions right now. Connor Berry out front when Nicky holding on to his position and 2nd there, but we go back again to Countryman there, the 26th, and Dashley trying to hum down. Now Dashley, he's got a lot of Winkler back there. Winkler's coming for him.
Dashley, our pole sitter, showing us that he's got the race pace as well. The front four, the only change is Barry sliding past Cody Winicki as Brody DeShore, late race drama for him, penalty. Through the final sweepers though, another victory to add for the defending champion, Connor Barry. There will be barely a reaction, bar the fist pump. Race 1 goes the way of the champ.
Yeah, don't get too excited, Connor. Someone better hold him down. It's just like, hey, I'm used to this. But no, you can tell he's just saying calm. All right, that's one. That's one. I got another one to do. He's thinking in his head right now.
We're waiting to find out what the invert's going to be as well.
Yeah,
right? So
thinking the same thing.
if the invert's like a 15, imagine what that's going to be like for the likes of Barry, Winicki, Countryman, Dashley, and Winkler. Top 5 covered by just over 5 seconds, with Zach Drapkin, one of the big movers, up to 6+9, with Dalomo, Huseman, Vanderveer, and McFarlane. Just momentum not on his side. 11th for Brandon Fourcade. Moving forward from those LCQ transfer spots. Scott Marek, David Holdren, he was +11 with Drake Mittag. Good recovery to 14th in front of Joey Herbie, Hadley Boyce, Christian Noble, and then I'll unfuddle that situation. It's Luke Knupp 18th, Adam McAfee 19th, and then Brody DeShore, Austin Schreiber, Tom Grady, Matthew Lindy, and Tyler Bickford. The 24 trucks in main event number 1. I tell you what, Connor Barry's got the responsibility of getting our second race session ready for us. So instead of starting with him, let's start with third place, Thad Countryman, standing by with Dave.
Well, Thad, what a great race that was. I know being up front and trying to battle with these guys, kind of went it, but you had a lot of Nicholas Dashley, and then you had Sean Winkler back there trying to come for you. I mean, it was typical. Your second fastest qualifier out there. So you with that invert, kind of didn't really affect you.
Yeah, I felt like I had a good bit of speed. Coming over turn 1 here, especially starting here at Bark River, it's really tough you really got to pay attention to who's behind you and not lose your spot right away. So I was just trying to keep that. I tried to stay in third right off the rip, got passed by Cody. Then Dashley got ahead of me, and I was able just to kind of saved my tires a little bit. Felt like he kind of started slowing up at the end, and I was able just to kind of keep the pressure on him and get in front of him, bring home third.
How was the track conditions out there? It looked like it was starting to come into the second half of the race.
Yeah, at the very end, it was starting to get pretty slick. His truck was pushing a little bit. But we got a good setup going, and it actually felt pretty quick out there towards the end.
Well, I got to say, good job there, and we'll have to see how it all shakes out for you in race number 2 here.
Yep, thank you.
Fun fight for the win with Cody Winicki and that Countryman, but rather Connor Barry. It's Cody Winicki that we chat to now. Cody, talk to me about that fight for the lead with Connor. Just looked like you had one slight slip up, opened the door, and Connor was there to take advantage.
Yeah, any little mess up on this track, anybody's going to shoot for that open hole, and it's just really hard to lead a pack that's hungry for first, and I was just happy to keep in touch and not lose them, and it was just a good, fun race. Pretty clean. Proud of it.
Talk to us about track state, track evolution, because a track like this is obviously one that through the course of those 2 LCQs, qualifying in the race, I'm sure it slicked up through those laps being run.
Oh yeah, definitely. The track slipped up pretty good. You had to check up a lot earlier and make sure you hit your marks, and that's what caused the door to get open and let Connor by, and we're good with a second.
Anything that you'll now look to tweak setup-wise to get yourself back up front for the main event coming up?
I think we're just going to leave it and run it how it is.
Well, best of luck in that Channel 199 sim racing machine.
Thank you. Thank you for hosting this broadcast, and Channel 199 for getting this setup for this truck dialed in.
Truck's looking good as well for Cody Winicki. Last but not least, let's chat to Heat 1 winner, Race 1 winner on the night, Connor Barry with Dave Arnold.
Well, Connor, you had a good battle going on there with, Countryman and Winicki, but talk about the pass on Winicki. What was going through your mind? You just kind of sitting back the first half of the race waiting for that comp caution?
Our speed is good, so I knew that I could definitely attack on him. I tried the 4-flap and it failed. So then I knew that I definitely was faster in the whoops. And then I saw that he went wide and I struck and we got the win. So it definitely was a good race, but we're going to be starting out in 4th. So it's going to be a battle. It's going to be definitely a battle to get up. It's going to be a battle to get up front again, just because it's so hard to get around here. It's really hard to make a move. So it's going to be tough, but we're going to go and try our best.
Any changes to the setup, or are you just happy the way it sits, the truck?
Honestly, our setup's good. I feel like my biggest issue right now is me. I feel like I left a lot, so I need to go back and I need to be open to changing my turns as the track gets bad. So I need to work on myself, but our setup's good, so I think we definitely got a truck that can go up there and win this.
You want to thank anybody for this win here in race number 1?
For sure, I want to give a thanks to Grid One, a PV, Boozy, Drake for all of his work, and you guys for this stream.
Awesome. Connie Barry sitting with the target on his back, but now in 4th here in the second heat, or the second reign.
And so the championship lead extended slightly, yes, but job not done. That is the reality of the situation already. Our drivers trickling into the new session. You can see, though, the eagle-eyed amongst you.
Ooh.
That blue groove is washed away, and we are back to a much fresher track condition.
Yeah, it's going to be a little curious on the restart here, the fresh conditions. You know, the good lines, and like we saw, the track started to deteriorate the second half of the race. A lot of laps were burned between the qualifying to LCQs. Now it's a whole nother racetrack to think about here in the second race.
Going back a bit more close to what we would have seen around qualifying.
Yep.
And then after that, LCQ and stuff started to move that dirt aside. Once more, though, we'll have that comp caution at the end of lap number 4, so effectively splits the race in half. Makes it nice and simple for our drivers trying to strategize how aggressive they want to push on either side. Haven't heard what the invert's going to be, though, just yet, and that's what I'm really curious about. How have we mixed up the front of our field as we get ready to go?
I think Connor said he's going to be starting 4th, so it was an invert of 4.
Okay, I must have missed that.
I was listening to my interview.
Invert of 4. Well,
that's what we saw in the first race too.
I was going to say, did we just re-roll the same die from last week? We have to get some more interesting inverts. Specifically, I think so. Well, Drake Mittag will be hoping that we find something with even more sides than that, because he was all the way down in 15th position. It's going to be really interesting how he fights back in this second main event of the night.
Well, yeah, and then of course, you know, Wendicki's the only one that really got some points for some good points for Team 199. McFarland back there, and of course Edmondson, you know, in flight right now, not able to compete. It's going to be interesting, and Mittag being back farther, so a lot of pressure on him also to move through the field, being so deep in there. So it's going to be curious. I mean, I'm really starting to look at this points for the teams, liking this stuff. Great, we're going to get a champion, but it's interesting to see how the team factor plays into it.
Especially that with Barry and Mittag lining up, it's not just the 6 or 7 Channel 199 machines effectively with the stranglehold.
Yep.
We did have some fights from the likes of Team Gold, Factory Simsport, but with slight shifts to their lineups as well. Not such a factor. Someone said Thad's got this on lockdown. I think we've got a Thad Countryman supporter. He's fastest in this practice session right now. Not sure how much I read into practice times, especially when Connor Barry hasn't gone out onto track just yet.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that statement right there. You could be the fastest guy in practice and still come in last.
Especially
it only counts when the pressure's on.
Especially in cars like the Indy car where they have push to pass, and so sometimes you'll have that practice hero who's just sitting there and hitting that push to pass over and over and over.
Yeah, there is no constraints on that whatsoever.
Yeah.
And that's one thing. It's like you'll see, like in an Indy car or whatever, a guy gets more speed, he'll draft and he'll shoot by you in a straightaway. We don't have that in dirt racing. There's nobody that's going to have push to pass, you got another 5 miles an hour on him. This is sliding into the turn, trying to squeeze that nose, or just getting a little bit better exit speed than the guy next to you.
I bet you some of these drivers wish they had an overtake button, though, on occasion, so they didn't have to be as physical potentially. And I have no doubt that this second main event is going to be even more physical. As last time out, our drivers, it's first round of the season, first round of the year. You haven't really made your friends and enemies for the school year as it was. You may have some history from 2025 and years prior, but for the most part, you try and enter a new year with a clean slate.
Well, I like to refer to it as a frenemy on the track. It's one of those things. You guys they all practice, they go to sessions together. I know the teams are pretty tight, and there'll be little secret ones in the setup time. But when it comes down to it, these guys are great friends. Comes to the track, they become frenemies.
I always tell the story of how once in lap traffic in a fairly competitive endurance race, I said I was going to crash out one of my competitors in another class if they tried to lap me again. After the race, got a message from them. You said what, mate? In a very British sort of a way. Here we go. Invert the top four. It means Nicholas Dashley, the pole sitter, was our top qualifier earlier tonight, finally gets the chance to lead us to green. Alongside of Thad Countryman with Cody Winicki and Connor Barry behind them on row 2. Sean Winkler, Zach Drapkin split the third row of the grid with Quintin Delhomme, the Frenchman, alongside of the, not going to miss it, all white of Rick Huseman. Cody Vanderveer, Evan McFarlane, your top 10 as McFarlane looks to try and find some more momentum to push forward. Brandon Fourcade and Scott Marek will be behind them. Two of the drivers who have advanced forward from the LCQs with David Holdren joining them. Drake Mittag, recovery driving coming from 14th. Joey Herbie and Hadley Boyce line up behind them with Christian Noble and Luke Knupp splitting the 9th row of the grid. Mr. Batman, Adam McAfee and Brody DeShore roll from the edge of the top 20 with Austin Schreiber, Tom Grady, Matthew Lindy and Tyler Bickford, your top 24 as we get ready to go for the second time tonight.
I tell you, I love Joey Herbie's picture. He just looks like he's having a good time.
We need more pictures where our drivers are having a good time. I've got no problem. The monkey suit or whatever, the squirrel suit that we saw earlier, approved.
I think McAfee needs to get the Batman cowl out and take his picture.
A full Batman suit for the next race. Yes, hot, sweaty, sacrifice worth it. If Trevor Thiel is watching somewhere, still disappointed you didn't do a full season in the pickle suit.
The pickle suit, that's right.
He claims that, he was the team manager, had to be professional, responsible. I say as team manager, it will be irresponsible to not do a viral marketing trend that encourages everybody to support you and your team. What are we expecting here? Mittag all the way back in 14th, Knupp 18th, Barry 4th, Dashley maybe a chance to grab a victory.
Well, I have to keep an eye on Winicki and Countryman too. They're definitely some fast movers there.
Looking through,
Drapkin's going to get up there and be in the battle also.
Looking through the record books, would be an 8th win for Drapkin, but both Dashley, Countryman, and Cody Winicki searching for their first Pro 4 National Series win. Let's get ready to go for the final time tonight. The rolling hills of Michigan, great jump there from the pole sitter. Nicholas Dashley is going to lead us behind. Big send, big commitment. Cody Winicki challenges Connor Barry as they now run up towards turn 2, the long left-hander, but they'll be single file for the most part. Winicki back into line to prevent Winkler from making his way forward as we run to the S's for turn number, for the first time of asking.
Yeah, I can't believe Nicky kept it down and got it back down on the four wheels there. That was incredible. Winkler, though, he was going to take advantage of it. It's a good thing he did get that truck down and running. Dashley, though, the man with the target on his back, Countryman, and Connor Berry trying to move up there. And we look back a little bit deeper, a little bit of contact going on. And it looks like someone was back there off pace with that. Might have been Schreiber or, Joey Herbie. That's who it was.
It was also losing time is Van der Veer and Brandon Fourcade. There's a look at the aftermath as Fourcade loses a spot to Van der Veer back up front. Dashley from Countryman from Barry. 1, 2, 3. One change for the podium spots, and that's Barry jumping in front of Winicki, Winkler, Drapkin, Dalomo, Hughesman. No change through then the top 8 with Hadley Boyce plus 7. Evan McFarlane now back in front of Luke Knupp, but Knupp is well and truly established in the top 10. Started down in 18th. What a lap one for him.
I'll tell you, Dashley already setting a blistering speed. It's about 0.3 of a second, but that's just enough room there for his Countryman to stay there. Keep Connor Berry between them, or behind him, I should say. And I think when Nicky, they're going to be wanting him to stay, keep Berry a little honest at this point. Because if Berry starts worrying about where Winicki is, it's going to give Countryman and Dashley time to hopefully pull away for them.
Already wearing that groove into the track, you can see the slicker line developing. Trevor Teal apparently on the plane with Josh Edmondson, although not in the pickle suit. So disappointed once again by Trevor and his lack of pickleness as lap 2 in the books.
Pickle Trevor!
One day he will answer the call and do the full season. I have no doubt about that. It may be a long time from now, but it will happen. We're already, though, halfway towards the competition caution. See if any of these drivers want to start to get aggressive and make some moves so that they're better placed for the restart.
And a great run there. You can see these guys. Look at that. It looks just like a drift competition. Those 4 drivers, Dashley, Countryman, Barry, Winicki, all looking very good through there. Connor Berry just sitting back. Through his mind, he's like, all right, just watch these guys. Look where they leave the doors open. He's always just a little hair off of their line, trying to think of a little faster way to go through there. Countryman, have to go into a little bit of protection mode, but he's also trying to chase down Dashley. And if you get that in your head, if you're doing protection mode, he's going to let Dashley run away with it. So he's got to keep focus on him, not worry about Barry. Barry can't worry about Winicki. He's got to move forward. It's just these drivers got to keep the eyes forward. Don't look in your mirrors.
The points that you saw, by the way, were the accumulated points between the 2 main events. Barry, of course, first and third, most points of all. We'll be just adding to the championship lead. As now, one more lap and the comp caution will pack our field up. It's not much of a pack up needed, though, with the top 10. Not much splitting them. Knupp, as I said, established in front of McFarlane for the top 10. Mittag unable to follow as aggressively. He's still down in 12th, so this will be a good opportunity for him to reset and go once more on the offense. Connor Barry is looking menacing, though. He is looking like he's hungry to slip past that Countryman and place himself right on the gearbox of our leader on this restart. Down the hill, off the jump. Not close enough just yet.
Yeah, he's got some work to do, some time to make it happen here. He's got to almost not so much force him into a mistake, but hope he makes a mistake at that point. So we got on board with P2 Countryman right now as he's looking at the lines of Dashley. These guys are pretty much just glued to each other. At what point do you step out a little bit and try another line here? Do you wait until that comp caution just settle back, not take any chances? It's coming out this next time around anyways.
So far, it's just been efforts to use the force to slowly steer drivers out of line. Hasn't quite worked, and Nicholas Dashley has led all the laps so far as we'll slow things down. This will be a chance for David Holdren, Brody DeShore maybe to grab laps back, but the remaining 22 are in a great spot. That Countryman, not so. Hits the wall under caution.
Okay. That's not something you want to see. Now, if the damage happens after that caution, do they get a quick fix?
I think he got away and didn't actually hit the wall, because that...
Okay.
the nose is looking surprisingly uncrumpled.
Yeah, I think he just came short of it.
Oh, that was
He's just
bizarre.
saying hi to the fans, signing some autographs.
How long does it take to get strapped into one of these things?
About 2 minutes. Not very long. 2 to 3
That's
minutes.
not so bad.
Yeah,
Theoretically,
get in
yeah, you could if you were that much of a fan favorite. The fear that I had when I saw it, though, Dave, was that it could have been a technical issue or something.
Yeah, that's true. If something goes haywire on the other end on his end, not much you could do to reset. You'd have to reset this whole system, and that would make it difficult. It's almost like getting back into a truck.
Well, he could have also just done the old, what IT is going to always recommend you do, turn it off and on again, aka unplug it and plug it back in, and that might have worked for Cody Winicki. Curious to see if he is tentative on this restart, if he decides he's not feeling so comfortable and just doesn't want to put pedal to the metal when we get back underway.
Yeah, when these guys get back in, it's getting the harnesses all set up. You got to plug in your comms. You got to get the pumper set up there, get your window net up. So it's a pretty quick process.
Pretty sure.
There are some things.
Yeah, just looking at the replay on my end, had the telltale signs of a wheel disconnection and then being unplugged and replugged in. So, good thing about the comp caution, timed to perfection.
Couldn't happen at a better time, I guess is what you say.
That's what Countryman's saying. I don't know if everyone else is on the same page. 5 laps will be left, and already look at the groove that we burned back into the track.
Well, with that many trucks out there, it doesn't surprise me. 4 times 24. And all 4 of them are burning in the track.
Therefore, the setup, if you dialed in a bit more for the slicker conditions, are you comfortable? Back underway. Good jump from Dashley. Has Connor Barry got a chance to close up to Countryman? Although, having said that, Dashley through the penultimate couple of corners, a little bit wide. Not going to cost him time as they ramp off the cushion on the outside. Back towards the line they go. And all 23 trucks still running. Back on the lead lappers. Defending champion trying to go back-to-back on the night.
And look at that, a little bit of damage there in the left front. You see that fender hanging off. There had to have been a little bit of contact. Might have been when he was leaning on Countryman just a little bit. Sometimes, I always say it's like MMA on dirt. You're going to have contact whether you want to or not, and it's part of the sport. You got to lean on somebody.
At least these trucks are a little bit more capable of taking the beating and banging than the newest addition to dirt road on iRacing, the small, nimble, but definitely not robust FIA cross cars. These trucks, and they're so different, so different. I think what I'm seeing from Dashley right now is a driver who doesn't make a mistake, has the measure of those behind. That's easier said than done. Remember, that Countryman, it was one mistake, and Barry was suddenly there to pick up the pieces. Behind Luke Canuck, Drake Mittag has picked up the pieces into the top 10. Evan McFarlane, former teammate Matthew Lindy, keeping him honest.
Oh, it looks like someone just went off the berm there on top there. But, yeah, keeping him honest, that's what everything's about right now. You got to take the line from the other guy. If you don't, he's going to take advantage of you.
It was Rick Huseman in that all white that got pushed wide.
Oh,
He's down to 20th position as back out through the long left-hander. Turn 2 we go. It's technically marked as turn 2 and 3 on my track map, but turning once, it's a long continued rotation. I'm calling it turn 3. Harry's lost a couple of truck lengths though with 3 laps to go at the line.
And just like that, he brought it right back up to the back door of Countryman. It's on that back porch. He wants to kick that back door out. Dashley's is running a flawless race right now. He's just got to stay that way. If he wants to stay up on top. Same with Countryman. He's just been so smooth, and I know he doesn't want to make a mistake again, like he said.
You almost wonder, though, if he will be more disappointed by not grabbing the win than being content to sit and ride in second. Now, if someone was advising him on World Championship, he'd be very content to sit and finish in second, but pace he's shown, he wants that victory. Barry's going to squeeze him. The right front goes way up in the air. Drake Mittag, cattywampus, and then turn to the left as they run through turn 1. He's going to be spat around, pointed in the wrong direction, and that's 2 consecutive races here at Bark River where Mittag has not had things go his way. Blocks the path of Cody Vanderveer as he rejoins the racetrack. And Race Control will take a look at that.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have eyes on that one as he gets back into it there. You know, unfortunately, I know Tag's got to be a little frustrated being back there, being the pinball in the machine. That's what's going on with them. So we go back up front. Look at this. Countryman trying to challenge Dash Chalet, goes to the inside, trying to force him wide. He'll have the inside line, and we have a new leader. Thad Countryman takes the lead.
Same corner where Barry made his move in the first of our main events. Is there going to be a chance for Dash Chalet to now ramp off the corner and slingshot back to turn 1? He's going to be thinking defense as well. Barry alongside as they work through the left-hander. Look how calm, focused, committed he is. He shed that bit of fiberglass on the left front. Doesn't need it. Just slowing him down slightly. Dash Chalet down to third. Door opened. Barry saw his chance. 2 laps for Thad Countryman to hold on to victory here. And I did think would not be content to sit back in second.
Yeah, Dash Chalet, though, back to third. He's working so hard. The Countryman looking calm, cool, collected, leaning into the turn again as we're on bad with Dash Chalet, and he needs to get back up there again and fight with him. He was challenging Barry, looking for a slide job underneath. Can't make it stick at that point. Barry's going to hold it off there as he has his eyes set on Countryman. But Dash Chalet not backing off yet. Still 2 laps to go.
They work out through turn 7. Dash Chalet had a bit of a bobble. Almost opened another door for Cody Winicki, dropping him out of podium contention. A couple of different lines being run, including by Sean Winkler, by Zachary Drapkin as we wrap back around. White flag in hand. Don't think we're getting a photo finish for the lead at least. That Countryman has just got to hold on for 12 more corners, 1.5 more miles for what would be a historic first victory in the National Series. But it's the defending champ trying to hunt him down. One mistake through turn 7 cost him a race win earlier tonight. Can Countryman avoid that same fate once again?
Countryman, he's got a little bit of breathing room there right now, but Barry's starting to charge hard. And, you know, Barry said he's faster than the whoops. Let's see how it's going to pay out for him at this point. He talked about that. It was how he used that speed. But I'll tell you, Countryman, he is on the loud pedal. He's making this one. He sees a checkered flag in his future. If he can keep it down, through the whoops they go. And no ground lost by Countryman whatsoever. He kept it on there, danced right across the tops.
That's where the mistake was made. There was someone in chat that did tell us that Thad had this on lock, and so far he has delivered. Just a couple more corners left to go, and the reaction will tell us a lot. How keen he was to win here at Bark River. The preparation meets expectation, as here in the rolling hills of Michigan, the smile already develops. Thad Countryman, a winner in the iRacing Short Course National Series.
I think that cat just ate the canary right now, and you can see by that smile. Barry comes across second with Dash Chalet, Winicki, and Winkler able to get by Drapkin at the line down on our top 5. Incredible.
Some decent recoveries from some, but so many storylines developed in the just second round of our Pro 4 Championship. This format, of course, taken from the Pro 2s last year, and on the night, Countryman and Barry split the point. Imagine what the combination of those two would be like if you mix their speed up tonight.
It would definitely make it interesting, and they were all mixing it up like cake batter, they say.
Just 2 positions, 2 points the difference. Quick look at the results. Let's run through some post-race interviews and look forward to next week's racing at Wild West. That Countryman, 4 tenths to the good over Barry with Dash Chalet Winicki. Winkler Drapkin, Knupp, Dal and Boyce McFarlane your top 10. Only split by 7.3 seconds in front of Matthew Lindy. Mr. Batman, Adam McAfee, then 12th with Austin Schreiber, Tom Grady, Drake Mittag, Scott Marrick, Rick Huseman, Tyler Bickford, Brandon Fourcade, Cody Vanderveer, your top 20. Only behind them, David Holdren, Christian Noble, Joey Herbie, and Brody DeShore. And with that, chance for us to dive into our post-race interviews and first-time winner of the Pro 4 National Series, that countryman with Dave Arnold.
Bad, what an incredible drive. Take me through this one. You led wire to wire, pretty much it felt like at that point, but the pressure with Dash Alay and Connor Berry hunting you down.
Yeah, that was wild, man. I knew once I got past Dash Alay I might have had something, because like I said before, I felt a little quicker at the end of the race. So yeah, I just played it smart. I was patient. Got past Dash Alay, and I knew Connor was going to be right on my tail, following me past him. And then I just tried to play defensive and kind of drive as fast as I could. You know, I know he's quick. So yeah.
Then you had Connor just literally looking to the inside. He was trying to put that nose everywhere. You just seemed like you were just driving your race.
Yeah, I was just trying to be patient, and I knew he was going to be trying to stick his nose in, so I tried to be defensive where it counted, and paid off. We finally got ourselves a feature win.
Well, I got to say congratulations on that one. I mean, now does it feel like it gave you a little boost? You know, okay, I got it done. It's the monkey's off my back. All bets are off for next week.
Yeah, it definitely feels good. The pressure's off a little bit. I knew if I was going to do it, it was probably going to be either at here or Crandon. This is a tough track, and I feel like I could be pretty picture perfect running the hot laps. So, yeah, glad we got it done.
And it's tough to pass here at Bark River. There's not a lot of places. You really have to have, hope that someone leaves a door open. And that's you found your foot.
Yeah, it's such a big track, but ironically, it's really one lane racing, kind of. At least the fast line is. So you really gotta find the spots where you can take the inside on some of these corners and still be quick, and you kind of just have to give a little door.
You got to be a little physical, as you're trying to say.
Yeah. Yep, for sure.
Well, the monkey's off your back. Congratulations, and I know you got people to thank for this one.
Yeah, everybody on Team Gold Esports, those guys helped me out. All the setup help, Tyler and Trenton and Luke for running with me, and Adam and Brandon, Sullins Transport, and you guys putting on a great show as always. Thank you.
There he is, that countryman taking the win here tonight.
And our race 1 winner, the driver that accumulates the most points on the night. So Connor Barry, our night 2 winner here. Connor, championship lead extended. How are you feeling after what was a rough and tumble second round of the championship?
I'm feeling good. It definitely was a good one. It was just about being smart there. That second race, I got in a third, and honestly, my speed at first was bad, and I was like, whoa. And then I started to get back, like in my groove, and I got up to Thad, and I knew if Thad was second that I had to be third. And then once I saw that Thad got into first, I'm like, I need to get in to second, and I got in. I got into that fast, and we were P2 and then first, like, overall. So it definitely was a good night, and we have been able to win the first 2 rounds.
Good night for you. Not such an easy night for your teammates. So I've got to ask, what sort of communication is there when there's just you and Drake in this team championship fight, as well as you try and go back-to-back in the team championships as well?
Yeah, he definitely had a bad night. His speed was good, so it was definitely a bummer about that one. On the team side, it's definitely going to hurt us, but it's not because it's not because of speed. It's just because of stuff that just went bad. So it's going to be a battle, and we definitely have the speed to get back on top, and we're going to a track where we should both be fast at. So we're gonna put in some work and hopefully get him back up front, and just hopefully we can avoid all of the chaos.
We'll see you next week as we head back to one of those bull rings at Wild West Motorsports Park.
For sure.
Connor Barry, second on the road. Let's catch up quickly with Nicholas Dashley, third in the second main event with Dave.
Nicholas, well, I'll tell you, man, what a great race. But I got to tell you, it had to be a little frustrating. You're out there, the pressure was being turned up, of course, by, Thad. And then, here comes Connor Barry. Let's talk about what was going through your mind when you guys were all three battling.
Well, I felt lucky to hold them off before the Comp Yellow there. They were right there, and I was able to hold them off at the Comp Yellow, and then felt like I got a good restart, but then they kept gaining on me, and I knew if I let Thad to the inside there, he would just go right on by, because that's one of the main passing zones here at Bark River. So, I knew once he got to my inside, it was pretty much over. I was trying to protect, and then Connor slipped by too. And then I knew Cody was back there behind Connor, so I was just trying to hold on to third.
Yeah, did you start to get a little frustrated? Is it kind of like you when you got past? Did your rhythm get kind of your mojo got a little messed up there? Feel like you're starting to get back into it again, but it felt like you slipped back just a little bit.
Yeah, once you get moved out of the line, it's kind of hard to get back in your rhythm. I felt like the last lap was probably my best lap of the race, so wish I would have had that a couple laps earlier. But overall, I believe it was an awesome night to go P1. Having to do race control too, so I was having to do race control and driving tonight. So that was a first, but hey, it worked out. Maybe I need to do that more often. But I'm happy with the results after not being on the podium at all last year. It kind of felt bad, so I'm glad to be up here this year.
You're gonna have to put a little sticker say, "Don't hit me, I'll DQ you."
There we go. That'll be perfect addition to the wrap next week.
Well, I got to say, great race. I say congratulations. And I know you got some people to thank, because you really made them proud tonight.
Yeah, thank you. I want to thank HW Design. Shout out to Hannah. She came back sponsoring the truck again this year. It looks awesome. Factory Sim Sport, everyone, Keaton, Tyson, Tom, Terry, Plum, Crystal, everyone who helped me out there. Legion Speed Sport, Connor for helping put on the series, and you guys for broadcasting it.
Nicholas Dagenet, congratulations. P3 here at Race 2.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks.
Let's catch up with Cody Winnicki, who finished third on the night, combining our points between the two main events. Cody, how are you feeling in that Channel 199 sim racing machine today? See if we can ask him that question again. Cody, great night for you in that Channel 199 sim racing machine. Third on the night, how are you feeling today?
Feeling great. It's about time I'm up here on the box,
Well, momentum. I think that's probably something you're going to take from this. You showed plenty of that last year. What's kind of flicked in those last 18 months or so as you just found this new burst of speed in these Pro 4 machines?
Well, I've been racing on a broken wheelbase, and I finally purchased one, and now that I'm on a wheelbase that actually works, it's pretty amazing how more consistent I can be on the track.
Channel 199, I know you missed a couple of your teammates today, but heading out next week, how do you think things will fare out team championship-wise? It's going to be a fight between you and Grid 1.
Yeah, I think we're going Wild West. Am I right on that? Yeah, not my toughest track, but we'll sure give it a fight for the Channel 199 truck.
Well, Cody, great night. We'll see you in a week's time.
Yeah, thank you. I want to thank Channel 199, Track Racer, Racecraft, Polaris, MRT Tires, Top Box Racing, Winnicki Motorsports, my wife, and thank you guys for hosting this awesome broadcast so I can go back and watch it.
And off to Wild West we go next week. Once again, tight, twisty, just 4 corners, and it will be physical, to say the least, Dave.
Oh, yeah, Wild West is one of my favorite tracks. The elevation changes, the high speed. It always makes for some great racing, and a lot of strategy comes into it, so it will not disappoint.
Can't wait for it. Same time, same place here on RaceSpot TV. Join us at 9 p.m. Eastern on the iRacing Short Course channels for the third round of the championship, inching closer to halfway through our 2026 Pro 4 National Series. Defending champ Connor Barry once again wins a race. championship lead extended, but Thad Countryman, what a story, as he wins here tonight in the rolling hills of Michigan.
First up, it's the three-time king starting off on top. It's win 17 for Connor Barry. First-time winner in the iRacing Short Course National Series, Take a Bow, Drake Mittag. And while Luke Canuck's yet to taste success in 2025, it's going to be a taste that's oh so sweet. Swain's not going to stand down. To the line, a photo finish. Her first win in the National Series. Crystal King gets it done.
It's taken a while for Josh Edmondson to crack the victory circle. Winning the war, Drake Mittag, the 2025 iRacing Short Course World Finals champion.